Hi, this is Phoenix, and I'd like to talk a little bit about Buddhism, specifically one idea in Buddhism. I've been reading a book by, his name is uh, Thich Nhat Hanh. I think that's the best way to pronounce the name. Um, and he was a Buddhist thinker. And he talks about this idea that um, in Buddhism, there's no birth and there's no death. Basically, our existence is the result of certain conditions taking place that allow for our existence. But essentially, that we've always exist. So we don't die, and we were never born. We were always there. So essentially, the metaphysical idea is that reality is very fluid, um, and our existence is fluid, and our existence is always there. I find this notion very interesting in the context of Buddhism because there's always the emphasis on impermanence and the idea that nothing stays the same, and that things fade away. And yet, this kind of implies that in a way we're immortal, maybe not immortal in our bodies, but we're immortal in the sense that we always exist in some form or another. But specifically, there's this notion of manifestations and thinking about how, in order for us to manifest, the conditions have to be right. Now, I've been thinking about this and applying it to my own life, and I've been thinking about certain disappointments and discouragements and unfortunate situations and circumstances that I find myself in. And I know that I've been hoping for conditions to be right. Um, and I have to admit that I take comfort in these Buddhist notions of conditions manifesting because I believe that the conditions can manifest to where eventually the things that I would like to see will happen. It's just a matter of waiting for the right conditions. And I think we can extrapolate this further as a universal rule, as a universal principle of patience, but patience in understanding that um, you have to wait for the plant to grow, for instance. You have to wait for the right conditions to happen in order to see the growth. And it's the same with us as people. And I think that that's a useful concept to keep in mind when we get discouraged, because we realize that our goals can become reality. They can uh, transcend potentiality and become actuality, but we have to wait for the right conditions. There's also another concept, which is basically an appreciation of ourselves, and this is something that I've been applying to myself as well. And it's this idea that we should be very happy about our manifestation in existence. So right now, this very minute, as I'm making this video, I should be very grateful that I have uh, that I exist, and that I have manifested, that the conditions are right for me to be able to make this video, for me to think about things and to be here right now. All of that is a gift, and that is one of the great things that I learn and have learned in Buddhist thought and in Buddhism, especially by this modern day Buddhist thinker. And I think all of that is really important, and we can't forget that indeed our existence is a blessing. Our existence is beautiful, and just by virtue of the fact that we exist, that is enough. And I definitely take a lot of peace and solace in that idea. And so, if I was going to wrap up all of this, I would just say essentially, I think that it's very easy for us to get carried away with thinking that, like, something needs to happen now. It's very easy, or more specifically, it's very easy for us to think that we're doing things wrong because we haven't seen the results. But I think what we can take away from Buddhism is this idea that things manifest in their own time, things materialize in their own time, and those blessings do materialize. So, for instance, when we need rain, the rain doesn't come right when we want it to come, but when the conditions are right and the clouds have formed, the rain comes, and it's a very beautiful thing. And I think all of this is very, as I've said before, is very important for thinking about patience and being appreciative of what we have, and appreciating the manifestation of this existence and what it has to teach us. Again, this is Phoenix, and thank you.